Morning, Rotarians and guests.
Good morning, Ron. Morning, Ron.
I'm Ron Strobel, the Sergeant at Arms. The invocation this morning is by Joe Rusnak.
Good morning, Rotarians.
Good morning.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to gather here this morning and for the food that you've given us and for all the things that you do for us on a day-in, day-out basis that oftentimes we seem to take for granted. And we ask that you give us the inspiration, the wisdom, and the courage to carry out the motto of Rotary, which is service above self, as we strive to improve our city of Hudson, our nation, and the world. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Joe. And to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and four-way test, David Ash.
Anyway, we'll say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it true? Second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
third,
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, David. And now to lead us in song, Dick Pearsall.
Okay. I think it's maybe a good day to sing When You're Smiling. Because that's a little bit bad out there. And thank you very much for the words. So here we go. When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, that brings on the rain, so quit your sighing. Be happy again. So when you're smiling, big ending. The whole world smiles with you. Well done.
And now our wayward president returns, Allison Feaster.
Thanks, Ron. You're so funny. Well, I had to buy a t-shirt in Texas, no surprise. I mean, I didn't have to. Who said, "You may all go to hell and I will go to Texas"? Anybody know? Davy Crockett. You've all learned something today. First of all, let's thank our fine master. Didn't he do a great job last week? Yes, thanks, Duncan. Robin Williams in the movie Dead Poets Society said, "No matter what people tell you, words and ideas can change the world." Who's making a difference?
We are.
Let's add something. How are we making a difference? Lighting up Rotary together. That's our theme this year. So how are we making a difference? Lighting up Rotary together. Thank you to our greeters, Ed Sogan, Bob Krampf, our AV team. Donna's on the camera. Hi, Donna. Thank you, Jimmy Sutphin and Tom Page, for setting up so bright and early, and Ron Barnhouse, who tears down for us. Thanks, Ron. Speaking of Fine Day, Duncan Tanner raised over $75 for Possibilities, the Humane Society of Summit County, to help cats and dogs. And speaking of dogs, Bob Krampf, would you like to do just a short update on different kinds of dogs, right? Hot dogs and brats.
Better explain that a little.
It is early, isn't it?
Woof, woof. We have now 2 openings left for the Art on the Green. Let me take this out. So I have one just happened a few seconds ago. We have open on Sunday the 24th at 12:30. We have 1 spot available if anybody would like to sign up for that, and one on Saturday at 3:30. We have 1 spot available. So it is a week from Saturday when we do this, not this Saturday, but a week from Saturday. And any questions? We're in good shape. I think everything's in order, as long as, Tom, you're bringing tables, right? 3:30? Is that what you said?
On Friday.
Friday, yeah. And Tom Tobin is not here, but he's going to help. I think I got a couple other helpers for Friday, so we should be ready to set up. Okay, any questions? Thank you from the dog.
I was also fortunate enough to get 2 Ohio State University tickets to a game that is on September 6th, OSU versus Virginia Tech. Anybody wants to buy, they're really good seats. And unfortunately, Kent and I have committed to babysitting for the weekend while our daughter goes to Europe. So anybody's interested in
When is the
September 6th. It's an 8 o'clock game. It's a good thing I have full season tickets this year. I'd be crying. All righty, so other announcements. Ed Sogan, he said he wanted a quick minute.
I can't go to the Ohio State game because Heidelberg is hosting Alma on the same day, so I know a lot of you are going to be attending, but that's a big one. Just a couple of things in regards to dates. Next Wednesday, school starts, so the kids will be going to the buses as we're driving here. Be careful and observe those school zones, because the police are normally out in force that first week, making sure everybody's taking their time. Tom mentioned again that following Saturday and Sunday will be Art on the Green. We have the Taste of Hudson coming up. I'm going to pass around the sheet. If you are interested in signing up, you can sign up online. The ones that I have on the sheet are for the express sales, so the $20 cards. that are pre-sale that you can stand out and hawk the tickets there. It's a lot of fun, and everybody here is just full of bubbling personality, so it works out really well. And that's Sunday and Monday of Labor Day weekend. I do have a second sheet for setup. I need muscle to help put tables, chairs, and help with the setup of the event, and also the tear down. That's on the second sheet of this one. That, again, is Labor Day weekend. Remember that there's going to be a concert that Saturday night for the 10th anniversary, and then on Sunday and Monday is, full-blown activity, and then Monday evening at 6 o'clock we start to tear down, and we put everything away on Tuesday. And again, it's a annual event. It's been great, and it's getting bigger and better than ever. Following that, on the 13th of September, we do have the ribbon cutting for the athletic center, the Malson Athletic Center, at 4 o'clock, and then Family Fun Night is for young families at the stadium, starts at 5 o'clock on the 13th. On the 15th, we've got a million activities. We'll try to get them on the website, but on the 15th, we have a golf outing at Hudson Country Club for Dante Lavelli, hometown hero, and we're going to have an area at the stadium dedicated to him and use the proceeds from that golf outing. So if you are a golfer, the event will start at noon. We golf, and then there's a party and dinner afterwards, and a Magnum Energy Solutions of Hudson is putting on this event. Proceeds are going to go toward the Dante Lavelli area. What else? There's one other thing. 19th and 20th, homecoming weekend, will be our second Athletic Hall of Fame. And again, we'll have more details as we get into that, but that's homecoming weekend for Hudson High School. So pass around the sign-up sheet. Thank you, Allison.
You're welcome. Dexter James.
Along with that Taste of Hudson that we have on the Labor Day weekend, we also have the Race to the Taste, which is on that Monday morning. It is a 1 mile fun walk with your family, or you can do the 5K race. It's only about 3 miles. It's not that far, so we all can do that. And then we have the golf outing on the 28th. I still have about 14 people signed up. Need a few more folks in order to make that happen. So please get to me. We sent out an email yesterday. So if you guys can just respond to that email, if we can get about 25 people, we'll make sure we have that and have a good time there. Thanks.
Thanks, Dexter. All righty, Jimmy Sutphin. Where's Jimmy? Run, Jimmy. I'm going to take my tickets just so they don't get misplaced.
Well, we've been singing happy birthdays, and tomorrow, August the 14th, John Archer will be celebrating his birthday. So, John, you have to stand up. We're going to sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear John. Happy birthday to you, and many more. I know one thing. I won't have this job next year with a gravelly voice. Secondly, we've been talking about these videotapes, the VCR, VHS. This one says scholarships. Who in the scholarship committee would like to have this tape? And don't all shout at once.
Dan will take it.
Okay, Dan will take it. Thank you very much.
All righty, now we're ready for the exciting Rotary Jeopardy. I'll give the clue, and you give the response in the form of an answer. Oh, raise your hand. Ron, the Sergeant at Arms, has given his directive. All right, are we ready? It is rumored that this Rotarian met his future wife on the Yellow Brick Road, or maybe in the Yellow Pages. All right, double jeopardy. What's the wife's name?
Dottie.
Or Dorothy? Isn't her real name Dorothy? All righty, come up and get your prize. Dice. Just what you need for your job as an accountant. Dice. All righty, our 5-minute Rotarian, and I know Ron is real excited about doing this. It's probably his least favorite thing, so we thank him for playing along. Come on, Ron.
Good morning. Seems like I've just done this. Well, I grew up in a little town of East Palestine, about an hour and a half southeast of here on the PA line. College was not an option for my family, so when I graduated from high school in '64, my lot was to wait for the draft and get my all expenses paid tour of Vietnam. I chose not to wait, however, and enlisted in the Air Force, where I served 4 years as a security policeman, 2.5 years in Northern California, and a year in Iceland. As soon as I was discharged from the Air Force, my wife Doris and I were married. She was from Chippewa, Pennsylvania, which is right across the line from where I grew up. We made our home in Youngstown area. I went to work as an electric motor repairman, and Doris took a job with a risk consulting company, where she still is these 45 years later. In the winter of 1980, we were in a position to allow me to quit working for a while and attend Youngstown State University full-time, where I received a bachelor's degree in computer programming. It happened that just as I was finishing my degree, the Youngstown steel mills crashed. And at the same time, my wife's company offered her the opportunity to relocate to their Cleveland office. Timing was perfect, so in the spring of '83, we made our move, landing here in Hudson. Both our kids were born here, and both have chosen to make their homes here in Hudson. After our relocation, I worked as a programmer for a couple of years, then transitioned to mainframe data security. Over the years, as the computer industry moved away from the large mainframes to the server PC environment, my age was moving more toward the retirement environment. So rather than retrain, I chose the path toward the latter. I've been retired about 4 years now. In my retirement, at the invitation of Gail, my sponsor, I came to see what Rotary was about. As a new member, I was asked to assist with our annual gala ticket sales, which I've done the last couple of seasons. One of our avenues of service opportunities that doesn't get talked about too much here is the Hudson Community Services. HCS primarily reaches out to the needy within the area served by the Hudson School District. One of the 3 committees that makes up HCS is the food pantry, and this is where I serve as our Rotary representative. Every week we receive and store food items either through donations or various food drives, and on the 3rd Saturday of every month there's a distribution from the pantry located in the Rejoice Lutheran Church on Stowe Road. One night a month I meet with the HCS governing board, and another night in a month I meet with the pantry committee, where we receive reports and plan. Our next responsibility as the Rotary Club for 2 days is in September, Thursday the 18th and Saturday the 20th, to be on hand to receive donations. So if anyone can help out with that, it would be greatly appreciated. A critical need that the pantry has right now is a storage room for overflow donations. that come in between distributions. If anyone has or knows of an empty room or an office space, please let me know. Another thing that I do that I've talked about before is I serve on the board of directors for a ministry in Prattsville, New York, about an hour southwest of Albany. Huntersfield Christian Training Center was founded 45 years ago as a retreat center for anyone seeking some R&R under some solid Bible teaching. We're structured as 3 separate programs all working together. One is the original retreat program, and the second, we have 570 acres, and that was once a working farm. Our farming still continues, but on a small scale, but we'd like to grow that so that we could become completely self-sustaining. About a year ago, I was invited to help form a third program, a program for men of all ages and backgrounds who are serious about gaining victory over a life of addiction and bad choices. For all of us, it's good to get some time away on vacation or just a change of scenery. For men with life-controlling issues, it's almost imperative. And we offer that safe environment away from those influences that likely led to the bad choices. And it's our vision to begin a similar program for women where the need is just as great. It's very fulfilling to me to witness a guy to come to grips with his life, start the transformation process, and begin to repair his broken or destroyed relationships. And that's me.
Thank you for sharing, Ron. Next week will be Dave Basil. Dave, you ready? Followed by Reverend Joe Boisel, the August 27th meeting. Our Rotarian historian is not here this week. He emailed me. He is on the road networking and bidding jobs, quote, as the Hire Duncan Tanner to raise funds for your nonprofit road show continues this week. Next, finally, at last, Donna, do you want to introduce our speaker?
Good morning, Rotarians. Good morning. You know the movie, It's a Mad, 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 Mad World? I kind of feel like Buddy Hackett in the plane. Okay, I'm co-pilot, and you want me to be stewardess, too? Okay. We're pleased to have Dee Dee Mulligan as our speaker today, and I'm thrilled to introduce her. Dee Dee's an active blogger when it comes to social media. She knows the entire landscape. She's been blogging since 2009. And her specialty is more in the meetings and event field, and she writes articles for several organizations each week, including Kalahari, CVent, and Smart Source Rentals. She's been published in Social Media Today, Social Tables, Tech Patio, Event, MPI Ohio's Define Magazine, Crane's Cleveland Business, and Crane's New York Business. Please join me in welcoming Dee Dee Mulligan.
Well, Donna gets the clicker so I can advance my slides. I just wanted to note that on your table is a flyer because we have an ice cream booth this year, and many of you have probably come to see it. And we're selling ice cream bars, ice cream sandwiches, ice cream cones. But this year, we're also selling root beer and orange floats. So we would love to have you come by. This is our only fundraiser, and so we would appreciate it if you come by with you and your family, friends, and have some ice cream and have the floats as well. So, yay, Donna. All right. Yay. All right, today I wanted to speak to you about social media privacy, and believe it or not, and probably you know this, there are two major concerns with people when they think about social media. One is time. They don't have time to go on LinkedIn, Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, and I could go on and on and on. And the other one is they're concerned about privacy. Is that a concern for you? Okay. So today I'm going to share with you some startling statistics of which you can take away and you can learn how to protect your privacy. Because whether you like it or not, social media is not going away, and it's embraced by your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren. And if you don't get on the social media bandwagon, at least in one channel or more, you'll be missing out on lots of opportunities. In fact, I have one Rotarian in my club who says their daughter won't even email pictures to them. They just say, go on Facebook, Mom. I'm not going to bother to do it. I don't have the time. So. All right. Hopefully this is going to work. There. All right, who am I? I'm the proud mother of two sons who have gone completely through the Hudson school system from K through 12. And one son graduated from Case Western Reserve University with a chemical engineering degree and is a research scientist with a startup in Cleveland. So people don't leave Cleveland necessarily when they graduate from college. And my other son is a senior at Kent State University. In what field? Social media. I've been a Rotarian since 2006. I'm the president of the Clock Tower Rotary, and I love working with Allison. We've had many meetings together. We're working, as you probably well know, on a cluster grant, hopefully going to get approved. And I look forward to working more with her this year and having our clubs do combined events like we did last week. I'm also just joined the district board as a board member, so I'm on the 6630 board as well. I've been a resident for 22 years. I'm a blogger and social media strategist, as you heard. And one more thing I forgot to put on there, I love Jim Ahern because because he pulled me in ever so carefully to be a Hudson job search advisor. And so I'm an advisor, and I'm a member of St. Mary's Church as well. All right, I'd like to cover very briefly how are these accounts hacked, which is why you are concerned about privacy, because there's hackers out there, and you know those hackers are very, very smart. But there's something that you can do right away that can prohibit much of the hacking. How to protect your privacy, what's the future of digital privacy, and then your own personal call to action. Also, I'm trying to be green, so these slides I don't print, but I just printed one as a backup. I'd be happy to give that one to Allison if you want it, or Donna, but these are at SlideShare, if you know what SlideShare is. This is up on SlideShare, or it's on my LinkedIn profile as well. And by all means, please ask questions as we go along, because I don't want to just tell you things that you're not interested in. So, how are social media accounts hacked? What do you think? How do you think people get into your accounts and get into your private data?
Bad passwords?
Passwords is one way, but that's not the major way, surprisingly. That is one way too. That's becoming more and more of a concern. Wi-Fi connections. I've written many, many blog posts about MiFis and hotspots and how that you open yourself up to lots of problems that way without a secure posting. What other way? Any other guesses? You're probably not going to believe this, but the number one way social media accounts are hacked is through a process called phishing, and you all have gotten this kind of email where somebody sent you an email and all it has is a link. You've gotten those kind of emails, I hope? And Yahoo is terrible with this. Yahoo probably is the most unsecured platform. So one thing I will share with you, if you have a Yahoo account and you're not married to it, I would go to Gmail or some other format, because Yahoo is having a real hard time getting their privacy set. But it will say something like, "Hi, how are you?" and it will have a link. And if you push on that link, you're opening yourself up to some problems. You're either going to open yourself up to malware on your computer, or you're opening yourself up to some sort of email that's going to ask you some questions about your social media. And believe it or not, some people even think it's official because it will look official, and they'll give them the passwords. So obviously never, ever, ever, ever give your password in an email form unless you know the person personally. But this is the number one. 70% of social media accounts are hacked this way. And so just make sure, I keep getting this email and I crack up because I don't know why, but it keeps sending me this thing that, oh, the U.S. Post Office has an important document for you. Click on this link, and it looks pretty official. But I know it's just hacking, so I delete it, and then they'll try. Federal Express has a package available for you. So just be aware. Don't open up anything that you think it might be hacked. Just don't even open it up. 54% of social users don't do this. And what I mean by this is on every platform, whether it be Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, Instagram, whatever it is, YouTube, there are privacy settings. And usually they're up on the upper right-hand corner, and it either says account or privacy or settings or something to that degree. And most people don't set these. So on your Facebook account, it defaults to friends of friends. All right, so every time you post something, not only your friends see it, but friends of friends can see your post. And guess what? That's how people get to know who you are, even though you don't know them. So what you want to do is make sure that it's visible depending on what the post is, whether you want it specific people, whether you want it only friends. I default to only friends. So if people want to see whatever I post, they have to be my friend. But Facebook will default to friends of friends. And sometimes they'll even default to public, which is, oh my gosh, it's the worst situation because then anybody can see what you post. So take a look at your privacy settings and make sure they're tight on whatever platform you're on. This is a truism for a lot of people, including me. I'm guilty of this, although I'm getting much, much better. 39% of people use the same password on every platform. Doesn't matter what it is, email, social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, it doesn't matter what, they use the same password. So if a hacker gets into one account, bingo, you know, they get into every account that you have. So you want to avoid that, and I'm going to talk about some of the trending things that are happening that are going to help you protect your privacy. So how can you protect your privacy? I talked about this before, I want to talk about this a little bit more, but never ever clicked on an embedded email link. Even if somebody you know sends you like, oh, you should read this. It's really cool. It's funny. It's, you know, don't do it. Because chances are they might not even know that they've got some malware put on their computer. So they've just sent you a virus. So just don't do it. Don't download files unless you know for sure they're good, valid file. And always, always, always keep your software, your security software on your computer, always keep it up to date. They'll usually send you some sort of, at least on my computer, you have 10 days before your subscription expires. You have 5 days, you have 2 days. Don't let it elapse, because most security software will quarantine anything that they consider suspicious, and they'll let you know. And if they know it's phishing, they'll quarantine it right away. So do these 3 things, and your privacy will be protected, as well as setting your custom profiles. Like I said, tighten all your settings on your social channels. You can also look at your public setting, so you can set it so I want to see what it looks like if Joe Smith looks on my settings. So I want to see what they're seeing, and you can look at that. And then most importantly, don't connect to people that you don't know. That's not smart. I mean, just don't do it. I mean, on LinkedIn, I tell people, well, if you don't know them real well and they have multiple connections that you're shared with, maybe. But generally speaking, don't connect with someone you don't know. It's just not good practice. All right. Here's another thing. Change your password every 90 days. And I'm going to talk about some. You haven't changed your password in, what, 10 years? I saw a reaction there. And this is something really, really important as well. If you don't leave this, just leave this with today. A long password is a strong password. So we have a tendency to name after the dog, or name after our children, or name after, and it might be 4 characters. Now, many of them won't let you do anything less than 8, but just make sure that it's long. And it includes best practices, or it includes capital letters and not capitalized letter. It includes numbers, and it includes symbols. So exclamation marks, numbers, hashtags, whatever you want to, but a long password is a strong password. And again, don't use your password everywhere. So what's the future? Well, it's dead. I mean, online privacy, for the most part, is dead. You can't protect yourself against everything, but you can protect yourself against hackers. Now, what I will say on the second point is, I don't know if any of you have this, but there are apps out there that will change your password for you automatically. And you can actually get those on your smartphone or Android, and it will change your password. It will remember your password on your smartphone. It will upload it to the cloud and your private cloud. It will allow you to protect your privacy. In case you lose your smartphone, it's recorded up there in the cloud, so you don't have to worry, oh my gosh, what about my smartphone? So there are apps, and that's probably where it's going to go more, is as we have more and more smartphones and more tablets, we'll be able to download an app, and the app will take care of it for us. So I see that as one of the big changes that will happen over the next few years, probably in the next year, and you can manage it. So you can block people. Has anybody blocked anyone before? Yeah, you can block people. You can unfriend them. You can delete them off your list if they're annoying. I hate that when somebody connects with you on LinkedIn, the next message you get is some sales pitch. I'm like, who are you and how did you get my name? And some of them don't even connect with you. They just go that route. So here's the 3 rules to follow. Constantly monitor your privacy settings. Change your passwords. A long password is a long password, yes. This is my favorite. Never post anything you wouldn't want your mother to see. You know, we get into a tendency with social media. We want to post everything and anything, or we don't post anything for a long time. You wouldn't eat 15 meals a day, would you? No. So why do you think it's okay to post 15 times a day? Not a good thing. So try to keep it within norm, but you want to continue and only connect with people you know. So I want you to think about what ideas are you going to implement today, and what are you going to do? Social media is not a fad and it's not going away. It's here to stay, and it will be the way to communicate in the future. Email is going to become less and less and less of an important mechanism to communicate. My son, I know, my son has, well, I mean, I'm talking about the 32 and under generation, and well, they're getting older, right? But my son, who's 25, has literally 1,000 emails in his basket, and he's like, Mom, don't send me an email. I don't do email. So, you know, I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. So email probably will die. Facebook may as well, but something will take its place. It's going to be the way to communicate in the future. That's it. Questions? Yeah.
I'm going to kick off the questions. To your point about apps that protect, you know, I don't work for this particular company, but LastPass has proved to be a really good middle ground, and essentially all your passwords are stored in there. There's a free version, and then I upgraded to $12 a year. And essentially I've set up all the different sites I log into. It remembers it for me. It logs me in. It does, you know, I set how I want to access things. So you might want to take a look at LastPass.
LastPass, good. Yes, Jim.
Once you've joined one of these things like Facebook or Twitter, how in the world do you get rid of them? I mean, if you'd like to just unhook from all that crap, how do you do it?
I guess I'm not effective, am I? Okay. So there's two ways to do that. One is called deactivate your account, which means you're not going to lose all your friends. You're just not going to be accessible. So you're kind of taking a time out. And that's under account settings. But if you truly want to delete it, it's under account settings. Whatever the platform is, and you can just, it will be at the bottom, and it will be an option. It will go, delete my account. And then it will ask you probably 3 times if this is really what you want to do. And the reason for that is once you make those connections and you actually delete it, those connections are gone. And if you decide at some point you want to come back into that platform, you have to rebuild all those connections. My recommendation, if you really want to take a break and you're not sure you want it, just deactivate it for a period of time. You're not going to lose those connections. And then if you know, after 90 days you say, it's okay, then you can delete it.
I was just going to ask, if I may, I'm sorry, back here, Dee.
Hi,
this is
Tom.
kind of like a survey among the Rotarians here. How many folks use, like, I'm going to mention a few of the social media services. How many use them, let's say, at least once a week? So, Facebook. Okay, how about, what else? Twitter?
Twitter,
Okay.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn? Okay, and then what's the other one?
Google
Instagram
Plus,
or something like that?
YouTube, Google Plus.
No, it is not.
YouTube? Okay. All right, I was just curious.
It's coming back.
What is malware? You mentioned malware a couple times.
Malware is where a virus gets on your computer and it attaches to something on your computer. So it could attach to files, it could attach to your email, it could attach to a blog post, your website, it could attach to a variety of things. And what it does is it really is, it's like a virus that's just sitting there, and as soon as you do something with that, it's going to explode out to all your connections, whether it be email or whatever. They could automatically send emails from you. That's how Yahoo does it. So that's malware, and it's sending it to, and the hackers are getting smarter, or the robots are getting smarter. They only send it to maybe 10 email addresses in your, and then it looks kind of official, and it's not being sent to the world. Yes?
Just an observation. We have all sorts of friends who will brag on Facebook about the fact they're about to go on vacation, or while they're on vacation will post daily photos, which is just an invitation to rob my house.
Yeah. Yes and no. Again, going back to your privacy settings, if you know people and you don't have it set it friends as friends, but a secure way to do that is don't put that information on until you return. And you'll see a lot more people will post the pictures when they return versus while they're on vacation. Yes, Jim.
George, that means you can meet them at the door when they come to rob you. On a related subject, is it worth it, do you think, to invest in something like LifeLock?
LifeLock is the service where you can have anything out there, right, and it will protect you. I'm not really familiar.
Protect the identity.
Protect your identity. You're right, right. I'm not very familiar with that. Okay. The answer is, it's best to protect yourself in some way, shape, or form. It depends on what you feel you want it to be. LifeLock's probably one way. I think any software that has security, whether it be Norton's or whatever, McAfee or whatever it is, as long as it's on the computer and as long as your version is updated, I think you'd be fine. But it depends on what you post too. So I don't see you as a big poster of confidential information, but maybe I'm wrong. Other questions? Okay. All right. Well, thank you for letting me come today.
Thanks, Dee Dee. That was terrific. Next week, we have Mike DeVanzo, who is our district governor, being our speaker, and it is Wacky Wednesday. Now, that's not because Mike's coming, but if you have children, John, do you know this book? You will. Who's got it? Dexter. Dexter understands children, grandchildren. This is a great book. It all began with that shoe on the wall. A shoe on the wall shouldn't be there at all. So don't be late next week. And with that, it's time for Rotabuck. Dee Dee, would you like to come back up and do the honors? Let's see, we have payout of $12 and jackpot of $357. You get to read it. Oh, just keep it. Last four digits, 9204. Jim's lucky day.
Thank you so much. Let's see.
That's not the black marble. All righty, this is the end of the meeting. Service above self. See you next week.